Hi internet! So it's week 2 of NaNoWriMo. My white balance might be off, but we'll see how it goes. It's Tuesday because I finished up yesterday's vlog and then I edited it and uploaded it and stuff. Although I don't think it uploaded because the other half was playing games and reset the writer. Whatever. Last night, the 5th of November, I was able to write 1,980 words, which has taken me up to nearly on target. I was a day behind because at that stage the target was like 800 something and I was on 6,828 words, and I mean that's pretty good. I got within 2,000 words of where I was meant to be, but really 1,500 words, but that's beside the point. And then today, at the moment I think I'm on 7,200 words because I sat down after work and I wrote for like 10 minutes or something, but I'm getting there. The only problem is in the chunk I like had this like pent up emotional like rant that she went on to someone and I was like, oh, that doesn't belong here. I know exactly where that's going later though. So I don't have it for now, but I will have it later. At least right now I believe I'm 3,000 words behind because the target for today is 10,000, but I'm hoping that today is the day that I get to hit it and I get to be actually on target for NaNoWriMo, which is normally a thing. Normally I'm on target for NaNoWriMo, but apparently not this NaNoWriMo. Oh well. I did do a thing though. So this is my bullet journal and I made a column that I can colour in just with like chapters, blocks and acts so that I can fill them in as I need to. I always like having it and then I never end up using it any other time. But hey, I'm using the little other thing. I can use that to keep track of where I am in the book. I did kind of want to do a graph where I get to colour in like my word count, but I don't see how that's gonna work and I'm too lazy to draw that up right now. Also, I have done enough procrastinating that I really need to write. Last night I found like I got in the groove kind of getting into what I need to with the two characters that are really facing off at the moment, and then now I get to go into another two character relationship sort of thing, and it's great for setting up why we're not going to see a lot of a couple of characters until a certain point, which is the end of Act 1, and that I'm really excited for. Like I can't wait for blocks 1 and 2 to be over. Block 1 I think is always the hardest for me because I struggle to start and then I like finish block 1 and it's all sweet and then I try to get to block 2 and it never works. But I'm gonna go work on that and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I swear as this month goes on you're gonna see me in a lot of high vis because I wear it every day and I'm just covering my work's name. Today's the 7th, but on the 6th, which was Monday, I wrote 1,687 words, which takes me up to 8,500 for Nano and 23,700 for the actual. Did I like catch up like I wanted to? No, but I'm still only a day behind. So that's perfectly alright. I don't have anything to report with the story, like I was just writing. I kind of like got this fun energy from one of my characters, but that's about it. The problem that I'm facing today is that I was just sitting there thinking about fantasy stories because fantasy and I love each other, and I was kind of thinking about like a story that I have planned and plotted previously, but it's contemporary, and kind of like as the years go on where it's set, it doesn't make sense, and I was like, I wish that I could like write that book because I like the romance plot in it, and I guess it's like kind of similar to this one and this one, but I kind of like want to do that one. And then I thought, what if I did it with magic? And now all I can think about is people vlogging with magic and like not needing tripods because they can levitate that camera if need be. Like selfie sticks wouldn't be a thing if you can levitate things. But then at the same time, that would be really draining. And now it's just got me thinking of like modern day urban fantasy with magic where they can use technology. Like if everyone knew about magic and like a shit ton of people had it, some people might not, I'd have to work that out. Would everyone have magic or only some people have magic? Because it's just like unrealistic for everyone to have magic. That's beside the point. That's gotten in my head. So there's like this little part of me that wants to work on that now, and I shouldn't because I'm in the middle of NaNoWriMo and I need to finish this story, and I really want to finish this story, but at the same time, could you imagine if like with Lollipop Ladies, they could just have like the sign floating beside them and every time they blow their whistle it spins a sign. I don't know, that would be cool. I'm gonna go and actually write, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi internet. So it's Friday, also known as the 9th of November, and I don't remember the last time I talked to you was. That was English. Currently altogether I'm sitting at 27,440 words, but for NaNoWriMo I'm on 12,244, which means I am about 8,000 words behind. So I have to write 2,000 words tonight, like 2,600 words tonight. Or, you know, catch up that extra 1,000 sometime over the weekend. I haven't decided. But the exciting news, I should show you this. So that's how the table's looking. I'm still filling it out. What's more interesting to me is I finished block 1, which you can see up here by these colours. I am so happy. I know that in revision I'm going to need to tweak it and add more, and I don't know if I need to add a chapter in between 2 chapters, but I kind of feel like I do, or if I just need to move that chapter or work out my timeline. But I finished as far as I'm concerned. I've started on block 2. I'm currently working on chapter 4, where I'm making the antagonist be an antagonist, and oh, it's so exciting. This block has been the least one of the least planned blocks, but in saying that, it's also like, as I've been going through, especially the last chapter, I was just like adding things that I wanted to happen in this block. So it kind of has some fleshing out, and I know where block 3 has to be, and the pants for me is just excited to work out what this block's gonna be. If I get stuck, I have no qualms with leaving it and coming back later and just starting on. I really want to start on block 3 and then act 2. I'm so excited for that. So ideally this weekend or tonight or tomorrow I'm gonna finish block 2, and then I get to start on the good stuff, and that's where I can see my catching up happening, because there's a lot of thoughts in this little head, and I know there's going to be at least 2 chapters and I'm going to have to write side by side each other, and that's going to be so much fun. I did write one of my chapters in block 3 earlier, like half of it, and I think I might need to rewrite that. Here's the thing, if I think I need to rewrite something, if it's a whole like actual chapter, I'll create another chapter and write what I want in there in case I want to go back to the other one. Also, I never like deleting things, and then that just keeps my word count up for NaNoWriMo and I don't lose word count, which feels like cheating, but every year that I actually win Nano, I win by a fair bit, so it shouldn't be an issue. Or what I've been doing is like, I'll go through and I'll like, if it's just a paragraph, put a line through that paragraph and either write like a small caption of what I want to happen if I decide I want something else to happen, or write what I want to happen, like a new paragraph. It seems to be my way. I feel like mildly like I'm cheating, but also I know I'm not cheating, so it doesn't matter. I can't get the idea of like a modern magic thing happening out of my head, but it's just a side distracting thing where I just keep asking more questions to throw onto that story. And like my new one is, what would happen if magic just spontaneously appeared in our lives today? Like, for some reason, magic happened or was restored to the earth, and that's when we find out that magic was always there but they've wiped it from history because someone did something. Or would everyone have magic, or would there be squibs and some witches and wizards, and like would it be smart to just be like, look at what I can do on YouTube? Or would you want to hide that and like keep it quiet for a little bit just to see if anyone decides they need to eradicate everyone with magic? And who would, like, how would people abuse it? Because part of me is like, well, I could give everyone magic and then it's a level playing field. Because if I don't, there's going to be a lot of people that get magic and do terrible things because humans are terrible. And I feel like they can do more terrible things nowadays than they could back in the past. Even though, like, for my character's morality that I'm currently writing, like starting a war, killing her enemy, isn't bad to her, but someone executing like a woman without, like someone being like, he killed someone without any proof is terrible. But if she sees someone killing someone, she's just gonna kill them. But she also wants there to be like a court of law. See, that's where I'm very confused, because I feel like part of it's the everydayness of it all, and another part of it's like, yeah, but what would humans actually do? I'm gonna have so much fun revising this. I almost feel like I'm going to like finish this out, be like, I'm gonna revise and then work on this fucking magic thing, and then come back and revise this just to get the magic out of my system. but it's also, I have a lot of questions when it comes to magic books and stories. The other thing is I don't necessarily have to write a story all of its own, because I do have a story planned that involves magic that's been planned for a while and it's pretty plotted. But again, that's one where it's like all on the DL that witches exist, and that's a very formulated world, whereas what if I made this other world where magic just reappeared one day? That's my eternal struggle, where I get an idea and I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't that work better in this story? And then other times where I'm like, no, it wouldn't, I have to write a whole new thing. Like this one, I was like, oh, wouldn't that work better in something else? And I was like, no, I have to write it. And the way that I can like justify it is this and only one other story out of like all the ones that I have plotted and planned and worked on a bit, are the only two that are like, say, historic fantasy, sort of, like think horses and dresses and stuff, which this has made it so much more appealing because I've gotten into the idea of costuming, and I always love like historic outfits, but I like will watch videos on like what was popular in the 1800s and the 1600s and stuff, so that's like adding to it, and that's something that has also piqued my interest more when I was reading Fairy Class, because I was like, oh my god, you can see the way that the fashion worked in that novel, and so it makes me want to involve fashion. But yeah, these are the only two that are like historic, so I can like write it off like this one's just right as like the magic builders started integrating with humans more, because we know as a fact that they were the first ones to start integrating with humans more, and that would explain things on how the character has some magic. The only problem is the mythology with this character, but then my overall mythology is kind of, people say, because I could be like a Tolkien and have everything planned out, but I don't like it when there's answers to everything. I like it when there's just so many questions. Like with Sarah J Maas, she kind of has explained it with the word gates and how there can be all these different things and stuff, and there's never any true like God or what's happening in their world being like confirmed. I kind of like that. And in mine I'm just like they kind of know the origin, but like shit gets lost over history even when you have immortal beings. Immortal beings don't always last that long because they get themselves killed a lot of the time. Just think about Vampire Diaries and how much everyone died in that constantly. But Vampire Diaries isn't that good. My other half's been watching the TV show, so I don't know what the actual thing is with the books, and I only casually watch the TV show because like it holds my interest and then it annoys me, and then it holds my interest and then it annoys me, and I love to later. But yeah, I'm gonna go write. Well, procrastinate for 10 minutes, then write. Let's be honest. I am very good at procrastinating. I also want to dye my hair tonight. Hi internet! So last night I got a lot of writing done. I wrote 2,242 words yesterday, which brings me up to 14,489 nano-wise, 29,682 words project-wise. And oh my god. I don't know what happened at the start of block 2. Like I had a scene, my antagonist was trying to like pressure and take advantage of my protagonist, and I was torn between letting it go that way because part of me did, and then another part of me had someone break into the castle and kill people searching for her sister and her sister's friend. And it's like the start of it I was kind of like, that's kind of weird, and then the more I got into it I was like, oh, this is where she gets to see that someone's using blood magic, which I'm going to come up with a better name for, and that the people she cares about are actively in danger, and it gives her a reason to force a love interest and her men to work together, because that's something she can't do at this point in time. And then I was like, wait, because of some of the fantastic things in this book, her and one other person would have noticed like a heap of deaths happening. Like one could pass them if they were too far away, but a whole group of soldiers dying? Oh wait, we'll just have that happen while her heart is figuratively ripped out. How did no one notice? Well, everyone was like out at the ball and there was guards in the hallway, or no one else left people in their room, so there weren't any guards. The reason that the guard was killed at their door, which I could take away that guard because there wasn't a guard earlier. And I love the idea of secret tunnels, but it made everything too easy later on if my protagonist had access to it in her room. So I've decided she used to have access to it. She's the one that found it and told the king. Makes her feel even more bad. That's how they escaped. And we know where they escaped to. If I get my way today, I'm going to finish block 2. I think I finished the first chapter of block 2. I'm just not sure how I'm going to have to work it. And then block 3 is going to be real easy to finish because I know everything that happens in block 3. It also helps me propel a character into being a problem that needs to be killed by the antagonist. Because there's a character that I want him to see as a threat to his plans, and I'm going to make her seem more like a threat to him through this, because he's getting in the way of what she's getting in the way of what he wants, and he can't outright do anything. But if he pins her as the one that broke into the castle or something, or finds a connection there, then that would give him a reason to. I don't know. It's a work in progress. This is why I'm a planter now. I've always been a pantser. This wasn't part of the plan, but it just felt right. I was just like, there's like no action in this part of the story. Like the action doesn't happen till block 3, and then we have like a lull in it till block whatever. And it's not really action in block 3. Whereas this, like we get to see her suiting up kind of to take care of it, and then get to see her nurturing side. And then the next 2 chapters we'll get to see her fucking bum-ass bitch side. Also, it made me aware of the limitations on blood magic in my story, because I was like, well, if this guy killed all these people, he's on a high from using a shit ton of blood magic, and I worked out the warning signs that a body has been used for it, and I was like, now we've just got this fucking souped up character walking around, which means all the king's men are gonna be souped up, which makes it like boring at the other end of it. But I realized, I just wrote like, they're the sign that if that person doesn't have magic in their bloodline, they use too much of it, it can kill them. Whereas magic wielders can use a lot more. Like our antagonist did have magic in his bloodline, not that anyone else knew really until now, and that's why he's able to take it as far as he does later in the book. I'm gonna go get food. Bye. This is just becoming like a bit of a routine. I've left this set up in the same spot so that I can just like come in every day and film what my targets are. Today is the 11th, but yesterday was the 10th, and this is yesterday's stats because I haven't started writing for today yet. Yay! Yesterday was a little exciting. I only wrote 1,409 words, but I hit 15,898, which meant I was like 102 words away from my target, but then I had to go to the shops and then I was really tired. Which also means that for my total word count for the novel, I'm at 31,091 words, which is pretty good. I've told you how I keep just discovering things at the moment, because I'm in that bit of time period in the book where it's not very planned out what I'm doing. It turns out I did have like a summary written at the top of the chapter, I just forewent it. The surprising thing that happened is, okay, so there's kind of some ethereal beings that pop in every now and again that I have mentioned by name, but you don't get to see. You finally get to see them in this chapter. I just like, it happened because it felt right, because like their skills were needed for a certain thing. So it felt right to do it that way. I am set on third person. Like this entire time I've been switching like back and forth between first and third, but I keep defaulting to like third person limited. The difference that happened in yesterday's chapter was I followed a different character for the first half, but he departed from the main character. So it kind of made sense, and there was a chapter break in there. And then we went back to our main character. The way I see it though is he's pretty much part of the pro-tag life. I'm not going to use him too much. Hell, I might scrap his point of view altogether, but I am liking using a third person limited for this story. It's just sitting better, and I was thinking about it, and like as much as I do love being inside my characters' heads, I can kind of do that with third person limited, to be fair. And I get to see more and play more when it's third person because there's more things externally to mess with, which is what I'm enjoying. I don't know if I'll use this whole like block in the next revision. I might revise it and have the ethereal being show up in the first chapter, because there's a spot there where she could very much show up. In following the other character, I've gotten to show like the actual meaning behind something that she gave him to show her men, which is just fun to play with. So I'm gonna go write, and hopefully I finish block 3 today and act 1 today, but it's Mum's birthday, so I don't need to be writing all day. In the way that I'm doing this, I think I've really decreased my timeline for everything that's happening, and everything's making a bit more sense. It is. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi internet. Later on the 11th, it's still the 11th, but I just went through and I like renamed my main-ish characters. Really just like the core family, and my antagonist got a new name as well. I really love like going through and having a meaning behind the names. Sometimes it's only clear to me, sometimes it will be clear by the end of the book. It just depends, you know? Because it's not set in like a standard time and I don't have a standard country, I haven't gone with like a particular country or like lineage for the names either. My thought process was like, there's a couple of them that do come from like similar areas or religion, but all the others are mixed, and I was like, well, how can I do that to be fair? Like, I haven't said where the world is. And then she had a different father who named her, she had a different mother that named her somewhere else, like he's from this line, you guys are from that line. Like, it makes sense why these ones would be very similar but the rest aren't, because it's like a mixture of people and names, and I'm thinking of having a lot of mixtures in between them all anyway. It's just always exciting for me to like pick names for characters, even if it is just like modern day names or with a slight meaning behind them, or if I get like really, I don't know, rare names that you would not find on a name tag anywhere. The only problem is that that's something like, I know how I'm saying their name in my head, doesn't mean I'm pronouncing it right. Especially a couple of them, I don't know how they're pronounced, but then like there's two, I always like to have different lettered names, especially in like my main characters. I don't like to have like a character named Alex and a character named Elise. That annoys me in books. Even like I'm trying to think of different names with, I'm just coming up with similar ones. If we had, say, like a Kathy and a Kim, like that would annoy me, because I found that out in Maze Runner. There was a lot of times where there was similar names and their stupid words that they had were all spelt similarly, and it messed with my head as someone that can struggle with reading. Like, my eyes like to jump around on the page, and sometimes I mix, like my brain will create whatever word it thinks is going there. So it just adds confusion. For me at least, and I feel like it would for others. The only thing that I've like compromised on with the names is the two ethereal beings both start with the same letter, and they kind of look fairly similar to me, but then at the same time, of course they would. It just makes sense. Also, I am need to write 1,600 more words. I'm procrastinating. Bye. It's time to wrap it up. I don't know, maybe I should make a jingle that's, it's time to wrap it up. So today is officially the 12th, but as always, I'll be giving you yesterday's results because I just finished work and I haven't started writing yet. It wasn't as productive as I thought, as I wanted it to be, but it was better than I thought it would be, if that makes sense. So yesterday I wrote 1,684 words, bringing my NaNoWriMo total to 17,579 and my book total to 32,705. You can see it in my book here. I've just gotten a heap of alcohol markers for real cheap, but still, I'm playing with them, and I just gone through and like done this in a very light wash of when I haven't hit my target for the day. And I've hit my target more than I thought I had. Like, I really thought I only had a couple of days of hitting the target, but the majority of the days I've hit my target, and every day I have written more than 700 words. 735 is the lowest word count I have for this month, so I am very happy. It is a vast improvement from October, although it took less days to write that many words in October. I finished chapter 5, so I've got block 1 down, more than halfway through block 2. I'm working on chapter 6. It's kind of like all coming together in a weird way that it's satisfying, but at the same time there's that little voice in the back of my head that's like, oh, you're gonna have so much fun revising and editing this, and no one is seeing this until it is revised and edited. So far I'm loving third person, but I'm tending to swap between two characters while doing it. I am having like scene breaks and there is like a legitimate scene and it's better to experience it through the other ones to see what we're getting. But I don't know if I'll cut that all together or what will happen there. But I am loving third person. Like, I don't know how I ever imagined the book as first person. Although first person feels like so good to me and so right. It's just like, I can't explain why it feels better in third person. There's a little part of me that's like, would that work for other books? And I know which books it definitely would not work for. But I just realized, I think that means that I have officially finished the first half of Act 1 and now I'm on the rest of it. With the timeline being lessened, and I'm creating tension in other places. Today, a fight occurred to me that can happen between two characters, but not until like Act 3. Act 3 is the right place because it should happen right before shit goes down. Like the battle. Right before the battle is when this should happen. And like, I know it, I can see it. And at first I was kind of like, but what character should I argue? No, she would not be arguing with that character. She'd be arguing with that character because he'd be pissed off about this thing. And kind of, today was really a day of like, I don't know, for some reason I kept listening to music and getting more into my main protagonist's head and like understanding some of her motivations more, which has happened in the last 2 chapters that I've written because I'm kind of like, it's discovering her, I don't know, like, I always know her boundaries, but I didn't know how far she'd go for things, and it's kind of being pointed out here. I don't know if all this is needed to be kept, but it's just opening my eyes. And I've kind of realized like a reason why for a certain character, I'd feel like I was in that situation, I'd love the other character too. Not, it's like a protective motherly love sort of thing. And there was a reason, like I knew that instantly she would just have this bond and want to protect everything about her, but I couldn't put my finger on why. And then I realized because this character's, her getting hurt would hurt someone that she really cares about, that she doesn't want them to go through that pain. And actually now it's 2 people. She doesn't want to go through that pain. But it's also that like, she sees in this one what the world could be, what it should be, what people should be, and what she should have been. And that's what she's really enjoying. And she's seeing parts of like, the good parts of people that she's really loved in this one person, for a lot of reasons. Also, there's just a lot of reasons. Okay. I also had like another idea, like for some reason, there was like this little voice in my head that was like just questioning this one thing, like, but what started this whole rebellion thing? And like, I know other things that have and why, but then I had my main protagonist just mentally go on a huge monologue on why the antagonist is wrong and stupid. And I was like, oh my god. She would have put, because she, her man, and the ethereal being inside of her all had these like issues, they would have put fail-safes in place so that if something like this ever started happening again, she would have the fail-safes in place, even if she didn't see it, for things to move into action to what happened. I've also every now and again have like miniature, I love playing scenes around in my head. I think all writers do, and if you don't, I don't understand. But every now and again there's a certain part in the book where I'm like, they should just question the shit out of her. It's right at the end, and I'm like, but what would we question her about? And there's been a couple of times where I've like written it and had to get rid of it, where they've started to question her on things, just so I can get a better understanding of like, but if, okay, so if that person did that, you do that, but what if they did that? And I'm just like, well, these are all the lines that she's drawing in the sand, and I understand her more, and through understanding her more, like I've understood the love interest a lot more. I haven't decided if he is actually going to be a love interest or not, because he was previously technically in her life. There's a part of me that really wants them to get together, and another part of me that's like, but they could just be platonic. It's never-ending war in my head. And it wouldn't be a case of like the end of the story, oh yeah, they're together as Puffy would be like, they're gonna attempt, but there's gonna be fail-safes in place if they both survive. Haven't decided if I want to kill one of them off yet, because it would just be fun. I think that's it. I told you guys that I changed their names, which is really hard because I'm not used to the new names yet, but I'm getting used to writing them. And I just went through the entire document and I Control F, put in the original name and then put in what I wanted to change to and replaced all, because that's the easiest way to do anything. The only issue is because they have very unique names. I need to get my computer to learn the spelling. And I haven't decided, like, I think as I go along some of them might change slightly, just the way they're written, so they make more sense to me. But at least I know where they originated from. But yes, I'm gonna go and eat chocolate mousse and then write, because my phone and my mouse are on charge at the moment because they're both flat. It's just a fun life. How's your guys' NaNoWriMos going? Like, are you on target? Or if you're not tracking your target, how are you doing? Are you happy with your stories? Is anyone else having like major revelations like I am, or is everyone else more of a planner than I am? No one's. I love being a pantser, but I need to be a planner because I need a structure. But I'm learning my structure more, so I might not need it in future, but at the same time it's very much like a pantsing thing. I haven't planned out the world or anything. That needs to be done. I'll need to bring more politics into it a little bit. I'm gonna go edit this and upload and stuff. Bye!